Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975. The notice requirements have been satisfied as to the time, place, and date of holding said meeting by posting notice of meeting time change, notice on the bulletin board in Borough Hall, and by mailing and emailing same to Herald of Cape May County and the Press of Atlantic City on August 9th, 2022. This meeting is being streamed live on our Facebook and YouTube channel. Please search Borough Wildwood Crest Board of Commissioners. If you wish to dial in directly to listen and provide commentary, please dial 1-888-363-4734. Enter access code 969902 #. Any questions? Please contact clerk at wildwoodcrest.org or call 609-729-8040. We have two exits, one directly behind everyone to our front and to our right, to your left on the side here. And with that, Trish?
Yes, sir.
And also, please silence all your cell phones.
We have ordinance number 1387 for the acquisition of property.
Motion?
A second.
It's you, Mr. Franco.
Motion that all ordinance 1387 be placed on second reading and final passage by title only.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent. Ordinance 1387 reads as follows. An ordinance providing for the acquisition of real property located at 117 West Jefferson Avenue in and by the Borough of Wildwood Crest in the County of Cape May, New Jersey, and appropriating $202,000 therefore from the Capital Improvement Fund of the Borough.
So moved.
Second. Motion that a public hearing now be held on ordinance number 1387.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
And Mr. Cabrera is absent.
It has been moved and seconded that a public hearing on ordinance number 1387 now be held. Motion that all public hearing on ordinance number 1387 now be closed.
Second that?
It has been moved and seconded public hearing on ordinance number 1387 now be closed.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent.
Motion that number ordinance 1387 be passed on second and final reading, advertised according to law.
Second that?
It has been moved and seconded ordinance number 1387 be passed on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
And Mr. Cabrera is absent. Next, we have ordinance 1388, and it reads as follows. Bond ordinance appropriating $4,500,000 and authorizing the issuance of $4,275,000 bonds or notes of the borough for various improvements or purposes authorized to be undertaken by the Borough of Wildwood Crest in the County of Cape May, New Jersey.
Motion?
Second. Motion that ordinance number 1388 be passed on first reading, advertised according to law, be brought for a second and final reading and public hearing on November 22nd, 2022 at 5:30 p.m.
Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
And Mr. Cabrera is absent.
It has been moved and seconded that ordinance number 1387 be passed on first reading, advertised according to law, be brought up for a second and final reading and public reading hearing November 22nd, 2022, 5:30 p.m.
And that was 1388, Mr. Franco.
1388.
Yep, and we had just done that, so we're good there. And next we have the resolutions. First is authorizing approval of negative change order number 4 to reflect decrease to the amended contract in the amount of $81,795.65 and accepting work and releasing performance material bonds performed for the NJDCA Small Cities Program, Beach Street End Public Access Improvements Phase 1B.
Motion?
I will second.
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent. Next is authorizing certain appropriation transfers.
Motion?
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent. Next is authorizing a contract award for community development consultant.
Motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent. Next is authorizing transfer of titles of one 2011 Ford F-350 pickup truck and one 2008 Ford F-450 dump truck to the Borough of West Wildwood.
Motion?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent. Next is authorizing increase of EUS contract in the amount of $12,000 to Contemporary Technology for network support information technology specialist for the calendar year 2022.
Motion?
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent. Next is authorizing increase of professional services contract in the amount of $15,000 to Mally Givens for special counsel land use development for the calendar year 2022.
Motion?
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent. Next is authorizing reimbursement agreements with the borough mechanics for use of personal tools.
Motion?
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera is absent. Lastly is permitting inclusionary developer T&C LLC to satisfy its 2-unit affordable housing obligation off-site.
Motion?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
And Mr. Cabrera is absent.
Motion that all bills properly authorized as submitted be paid.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that all bills properly authorized as submitted be paid. Roll call. Mr. Schiff.
Yes.
Mr. Franco.
Yes.
And Mr. Cabrera is absent.
Now open it up to first round of public comments. Anybody have any public comments? Anybody on the line?
Good morning, this is Steve Tarnowski. I'm
Hey,
at
Steve.
5401 Lake Road. I've commented a couple times on the flooding that's on Lake Road, and I was just following up on any progress that's been made, especially on the catch basins at the end of Morning Glory and at the end of Cressy. In our last meeting, there was some sort of commitment to take a look at it and see if it could be prioritized. I was just following up on that.
So yes, Steve, we did follow up with that. We did go out. Our engineer did go out with Brian and Rick, I believe. So the next step is to actually identify the next phase of it. And Mark could probably speak on it. He's actually out there. So if you want to touch on that, Mark.
Yeah, if I could just add that, so we did go out to look at the condition of the bulkhead, and unfortunately, from where we were in the public right-of-way in the adjacent neighbor, we could not get up on the bulkhead to really look at it, so we're gonna have to do that by water.
Okay. So the full moon's been there for the last couple days, and this storm's coming in. So just to add urgency to it, the people are going to be landlocked. They're actually moving because they have medical issues. They're actually moving given this storm that's coming up the coast this week. So if this could be accelerated in any manner, we'd really appreciate it.
Understood.
The street's going to be impassable for probably 3-4 days now.
Right. We have been out multiple times to look at this, and just to piggyback on what Mark said, we need to dive deeper into the situation. So it's not being put on the back burner, and we understand your concerns.
If I could also add too, so this is not a fix where we go to one spot. I mean, the whole run of Lake Road has to be addressed. We can't just fix one intersection and think that's gonna do the trick and then have the other intersections flood over into the next one. It's an entire holistic approach in that triangle area.
Yeah, that's a concern I have. A big plan with a big project with a lot of years, that's a real concern because it's actually two streets that are so consistent, and it's the end of Morning Glory and end of Cressy. I understand you have outfalls, all the way down to Sunset Lake, but as you go from Heather all the way down, nothing floods until you get to, Buttercup and Morning Glory and Cressy, and the water clearly comes up in Morning Glory and Cressy. That's where the flooding happens. So I appreciate there's outfalls for the entire row there, but they're not flooding. And there's something wrong at Morning Glory and Cressy.
Okay. We will continue to address the situation and follow back up with you as soon as we have more information, Steve.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else on the line? Discussion? No? New business? No new business, I don't believe. Go to old business. Back beach excavation, that's on hold, I believe. The flood mark is in the works with that. Yep. Dredging meeting, potential meeting of Scott Douglas from the DOT, end of the month, I believe, right, Connie, on that one. Beach Patrol building, Mark continues to work with Commissioner Schiff, Chief Johnson, and the Finance Department on that project. Looking forward to that. CAFRA, waiting on the 5 items that were submitted to the DEP.
Yep,
Correct on that.
that permit has been applied for.
New Jersey Ave, waiting with Jim Malia, continues to work on the redevelopment plan. Phase 2 bump outs, that's Mark, right? Correct on that?
Yeah, we're down to Wildwood Water Utility authorization on the water main.
Reconstruction plan, we should have more information on that hopefully soon. Crosswalks, Commissioner Schiff, I don't know if that's for an update for now or for later. Public Works roof, Mark and Mr. Bond are currently preparing bid documents, I believe, on that process. Pool roof, similar situation as Public Works. Mark and Mr. Bond are working on bid documents. Borough offices moves, that's still in negotiation and talks about that. Outfall lines, I think we're just addressing that now, that conversation with Mark, Brian, myself, and Rick. Arts Pavilion, Connie, any updates on that?
The Arts Pavilion, the Cape May County Open Spaces Board did not meet as expected. There was an issue. So we still don't have an answer as to the funding that will be applied to this. We do know we are getting money for the exterior improvements, but we don't have the exact value of that at this point. I expect that we should have that by the end of this month and in maybe early into December. So that is part of the bond ordinance, and I'm hoping we can proceed this spring to get all that resolved.
Good.
We have one item left in the interior, and that is a stainless steel part that will allow us to turn the lights on and the electric on, and that is scheduled for mid-December for arrival.
Thank you. Barricades at the park, I believe Chief Lloyd and Commissioner Schiff are working on that. Beach-related issues, a CAFRA IP check was issued to Mark's office. Application was mailed last week on all beach-related issues. I think that's it for old business. Move to any more public comments. Yes.
Joe Viscomi, 308 Washington. Just two actually little things. I actually noticed that at the end of Washington Avenue, they relocated the shower that was in the walkway. And it was a minor inconvenience, but it's appreciative. And I realize that it could have very easily been just said, it is what it is, and we're just going to leave it there. So it's appreciative that somebody realized that it was, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it was kind of in the walkway. So it was good to see that somebody noticed that and made that change. And I know that there's a handicapped young man that lives in those condos, and that was really difficult for him with everybody coming back and forth to use that. And my daughter lives in North Cape May, and I was going every Friday to cut her grass. I had to laugh. So our trash day is the same as her trash day. When I come out of my house, the trash cans are off the street. They're next to the sidewalk. I drove to North Cape May, and they're in the middle of the street. They're in the middle of the driveway. So I think sometimes we don't understand. If we don't have a basis of comparison, we don't realize that we're getting a good service or not. So it was just really comical because literally it was Friday mornings. My cans were neatly up against a little fence off the walkway. I go to North Cape May, I couldn't pull in their driveway because they're in the middle of the street blocking their driveway. So sometimes a basis of comparison is good. So thanks a lot for the work. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Anyone on the line? Hearing none, move to commissioners' comments. Commissioner Ship?
You got my notes again?
I don't know, maybe.
Hopefully not. Just to touch on last night's election, I'd like to thank our clerk for putting in the overtime and making sure that everything was done correctly. It's appreciative, and that's like the trash. We don't realize all the little moving parts until you start getting in a little bit and seeing what everybody does. Our streets department always does a great job. I mean, they're just second to none. I've heard that so many times, so I'd like to thank them also and thank all our workers.
You stole mine, so.
Oh, sorry.
I'll still listen.
Yeah, I know Trish put in a long day yesterday. It's not easy, especially to come back and forth. So I want to say thank you to her and to our Public Works. They do a fantastic job. I noticed that as well with our trash in my house. So also wanted to highlight Veterans Day coming up this Friday. We have off here at the Borough. And I think every day should be Veterans Day. I mean, you should go out and thank a vet, in my opinion. That will never go unnoticed with me. So thank you to all our vets and your service. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I'll ditto that one, that's for sure.
With that,
Entertain a motion?
Motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Mr. Cabrera is
One-
absent.
one over.
9:40.